Hello everyone and welcome to a new IK video. This is Kincaid from M14, and in this one I'm going to talk about my account growth ever since I entered Conquest. This is the march that I've been using, and this is the march I'm going to talk about. I'm using Kin Emperor as a support. In my opinion, one of the best immortals that you can build in the game, considering the price, considering the efficiency, and considering everything regarding this immortal and how easy he is to build. And I'm using Yi Sun Chen. He's also very easy to build immortal. Not as easy as he used to, because he kind of reduced the amount of fragments that you can get from the golden path. However, he's still an easy immortal, not very cheap, but doable. And I'm building Charles, kind of a slow to build immortal. However, you can quickly build him recently, ever since they introduced the elemental bond event, but still kind of expensive. It consumes a lot of gems, so this is not a free-to-play friendly march, if I would like to say. And I'm using Himiko, the most expensive immortal in this march. However, recently they kind of changed the prices regarding in the Stellar Comps event, and it is kind of cheaper than it used to. So it is kind of a low spender friendly right now, or maybe a mid spender friendly. However, this is the march I'm using. I'm using Ken, I'm using Yi Sun Chen, Charles, and Himiko as the main damager. And as you can see, I have two legendary skills. The first one is Energy Mastery, and the second one is Life Protection. 2 months ago, before we enter Conquest, I had this report here for my march. I think was this one. Yeah, this was my march back then. I had exactly 474 K power. This was my setup back then, and right now this is my setup. I know we're in one faction server right now, so this is a big difference. Our alliance is kind of maxed at the tick, so this is also a huge difference. I worked on my artifacts, but still this is very impressive considering the short time that I had to grow my account. Anyway, I would like to talk about the march that I'm using right now. Himiko is the main source of damage, and of course, since I'm using Energy Mastery, the amount of damage that she deals is absolutely insane. And I'm using Fighting Master because I don't have Fufei. So Fighting Master protects Himiko from other Himiko exile, protects her from Loki, protects her from any kind of control. Of course, haven't tried versus Ares recently, but we're gonna find out. And because I don't have a lot of options, I'm still using Concentration, kinda still a decent skill since it increases the damage by 30%. And of course, Life Protection, probably the best sustain skill in the game currently for the back row, and it reduces the damage by up to 35% if the skill was maxed. Increases the healing, of course. Increases the healing doesn't really affect my march that much because I don't have any kind of healing yet in my march, but I'm kind of working on it. I might be able to get maybe Fufei or maybe any kind of other immortals to replace Kin. We will see. And I'm using Heart of Arcana, a must-have skill if you're using a mage. Increases the damage by 35% for magical damage. And I'm using Assist, of course, to protect Himiko. As for my front row, I'm using Yi Sun Chen, one of the best immortals to use in the front row, one of the best defensive immortals. And considering the price, considering everything, is definitely an S tier immortal. And I'm using Charles because I don't have much choices, because I'm not sure if I really want to work on an immortal such as Bjorn. I know Bjorn has been recently used a lot in the meta, but I don't think I can get him at the moment, or maybe I can, but I'm still debating myself about it. And of course, in my plan, I'm working on Ragnar. So Ragnar is also a very good replacement for Bjorn, maybe even a better replacement for Bjorn, but he's kind of hard to obtain. Because he's the only immortal, literally, is the only immortal that is not available in the Boon Elemental event. So if we check here the water marches, yeah, this is the water march that is available right now. Is it? No, this is Earth on Lightning. Anyway, I talked to the IKVIP and they haven't really given me an answer on why Bjorn is not available on the event. But we might be able to get him soon in the event. I will try to push for it. Anyway, Charles is definitely not an ideal use, especially in Conquest. Everyone one-shots everything. So Charles Shield is not really that efficient, is not really that strong. However, is still the best option to use that is available for me at the moment. As for the skills I'm using on Yi Sun Chen, of course, I'm using Weakening Curse, the best counter for Alex. Lots of players are using the Alex Yi Sun Chen March in my server, so this skill is a must-have. And it is the first skill they unlocked in the Wish shop. And of course, I'm using Rage Blessing. I want Himiko to cast her skill as soon as we get into the fight. And I'm using Malice because of course reduces the critical rate by 20%. Very OP versus other Himikos as well. And I'm using weakness because to increase the crit chance for my own Himiko. I'm using energy suppression to slow down the energy regain against my opponents. So I want my Himiko to cast her skill before the other Himiko that I'm up against. And I'm using resist just in case I'm running up against a strong mage damage dealer that is also using rage blessing. So these are the skills that I'm using. Probably I will replace a couple of skills and maybe replace malice with master aegis. Master aegis is a must-have skill if you're running against a mage, but I haven't really unlocked it yet. I'll be able to unlock it maybe next week. It's the one that reduces the damage, the magical damage, by 25%. And I'll be replacing maybe resist with Fountain of Life. I forgot to mention that I have Fountain of Life as well at level 3. It doesn't really matter to upgrade this skill if you're not really gonna use it for heals, because at level 1 the skill will be able to counter no escape, doesn't matter what, because at the start of the battle, if you read here, all allies gain silence immunity for 6 seconds. It doesn't matter what level the skill is, you gain the silence immunity. So this skill is a must-have if you're up against someone who's using no escape. So this is probably the only counter for no escape alongside Fighting Master, but it only works on one immortal. So this is the march. Probably this is not a low spender friendly march. This is a high, not really a high spender, maybe a mid spender march, since I don't really have any case immortals yet. But I have been really slow grinding the Triss coins in order to get these two skills to level 7, and maybe in a couple more weeks I'll be able to upgrade Energy Mastery to level 8. Looking at some of the reports that I've acquired recently, we had a very intense kill event ever since we entered Conquest, and the results were just insane. I spent a lot of AP working on my dragon. I managed to upgrade my dragon to max him out before the kill event, and this were the results. I think my skill was level 6 back then. Yeah, my skill was only level 6, but still the results was insane considering the difference between me and these guys. These guys had really very old accounts, most of them. Some of them were tier 8, had tier 8 troops with conquest skills as well. And I think I got into the fight with the Mega Whale in our server. I think his name was James Still. He still couldn't fix his skills back then. Yeah, this is the build I used. And of course, Oakengard, because of all the Alexes that I've run against in this skill event. Maybe I did not save any reports for the Mega Whale. Anyway, it was a very interesting kill event, and I'm gonna post more videos about the growth of my account and this march that you see here. Once I get this skill to level 8, I'll probably work my way on the Fountain of Life skill, because I know it is level 3 at the moment, so the heals, it does not really that much. However, still the heals are insane since it procs every 3 seconds. So it restores HP to all allies every 3 seconds. And I think if I use a skill such as Spring of Life, I'll be able to proc the Spring of Life if I'm using this skill altogether. So this will be a pretty strong combo, and I can unlock already Spring of Life. Yeah, this one. I have enough coins yet to unlock Spring of Life. All I need is 60 stones, but unfortunately, I don't have any soul crystals or enough soul crystals to unlock more skills at level 8. So I'll have to wait on this for a while, because I still need to unlock Master Aegis for my march as well. So it's gonna take a while to gather all the soul crystals. Anyway, this will be all for this one. If you have any suggestions regarding the content in the future, make sure to mention it down below in the comments, and I will try to post at least 2 to 3 videos a week nowadays. So I'll do my best to provide you guys with content. Anyway, this will be all for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and have a wonderful day.